So, Darren Watt. Now, when I think of Cowdenbeath, I don't tend to think of the Tory party. Like, I've been to Cowdenbeath a few times, and I hope you're not going to get upset, but it's a bit rough, right? And it's the kind of last, it's the last place you would think of a Tory. I mean, how's that going for you?
Well, historically, Cowdenbeath and the surrounding area isn't what you'd call a conservative hotbed. I mean, literally across the road from me is Lumfinnins, which has a nickname of Little Moscow, and a street called Gagarin Way, named after the Russian cosmonaut. So, yeah, it's not historically known for conservatism, but we're getting there.
Now, the only sort of Tory that I've ever sort of associated in my head with Fife is Jacob Rees-Mogg, because you'll know that he was up in Glenrothes, yeah?
Yeah, back in 97, that's right.
That's right, you know it. And, of course, he was... didn't go down too well because he's quite posh, and he was accused of doing the canvassing and the electioneering in a Bentley, and he said, no, that's not true, it's a Mercedes, with his nanny. And he's quite skinny. And I looked at your Twitter and stuff like that today, and I thought, you're no skinny little Tory from the home counties. I mean, is that why you can do this job? Because you've been working out and stuff like that, and you can take guys on?
To be fair, I think there's often still a lot of misconception regarding who Tories are or what they are. We're certainly a broad church, that's for sure.
Yeah, so you don't have to feast on the bones of the poor, no? Or anything like that, no?
Nothing like that, no.
Ah, right. That's still a misconception sometimes, yeah. So how did you get into it? I mean, I know you're a councillor now. How did you get into the whole politics thing, and how did you get into the Tories specifically?
I've always been conservative by nature. I mean, the way I even joke to people is I'm not a nationalist, nor am I a socialist, so therefore I must be a conservative. But I've always had the nature. I've been following conservatives, and it was roughly about 5-6 years ago that I decided to take the plunge into politics, especially local politics, because typically you want to have an input, you want to do things in your local area, and living in Cowdenbeath and being involved in the community, I wanted to help improve it. So when the 2017 local elections came up, it was perfect opportunity, perfect timing, and lo and behold, people of Cowdenbeath voted in a Conservative as a local councillor.
So those, I'm not too conversant with it. Is the local ones, is that by a PR system? Is that right? Yeah,
it's an STV, single transferable vote. So there's usually 3 or 4 councillors in each ward, so to speak. So it's still like a preferential vote, but they put down number of preference from 1 to 6 if there's 6 candidates, for example, and then the computer does all the magic and works all out and puts you in, order of preference.
Elected at that time, was that the first time you'd stood as any kind of representative?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
What was it like? I mean, they're not famous for their big turnouts, the council elections. Were you at the count, and was it all night and all that sort of thing? Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting. I mean, going through it, I mean, obviously having the same perceptions that you spoke about. I mean, a lot of people were almost, dare I say, like poking me in the street, almost like a Conservative in Cowdenbeath, and almost just checking I was real. But at the same time, I got to prove myself, and I'm very much involved in the local community, and I live here. I'm bringing up my family here, and I love the area that I represent. Yeah. So a lot of people recognise that.
I can't really place your accent. Are you from Cowdenbeath? Are you from Fife?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much in a 5-mile radius. I was brought up in Rosyth, moved to Dunfermline when I was about 18, 19, stayed there until about 6 years ago, and then moved through to Cowdenbeath.
Right. Well, from where I am in Edinburgh, that's literally all the same. So it's. But imagine you got to be an MSP. That'd be amazing. Eh? You could come over to the big city, get a flat, and all that sort of thing. It'd be great.
Oh, I mean, compared to a councillor wage, I mean, we get nothing. We don't even, we're lucky if we even get water at a council meeting. The days of biscuits and tea is long gone anyway, especially compared to our counterparts in Holyrood anyway.
Yeah, you got another job, or is this what you do? Or?
I've got another job. I work part-time in a local charity shop, but I primarily do the council duties because it does take up so much of your time, and it's a lot of antisocial hours as well.
Yeah, listen, I was thinking about this question myself earlier on, but Gary's gone and asked it. Is it not required to have a Union Jack in the background of such interviews now? Or did they only send them out to MPs and MSPs and councillors haven't got one yet? Or have you not put yours up? Or
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I usually actually have a Zoom background that's like the Scottish Conservatives and all the rest of it. Though the reason I actually haven't got that is because it wouldn't let me upload it on this program. So I had to rush the laptop down to the nice cream background of the dining room.
Well, it looks very plain and very
very conservative.
I was just going to say like Bauhaus, like classic, like artistic, sparse, spare kind of. Anyway, let's get on with the quiz. Listen, thanks very much for coming and doing this quiz. You said you're expecting a disaster. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's just a bit of fun between the parties. We're going to try and do as many of these as I can between now and the election. Add up all the scores, got a scoreboard, right? So at the top at the moment is the Greens, but he was an actual quizmaster, so slightly unfair advantage. But you're going to do great. It's going to be 10 questions. That's all it is. First one's worth 1 point. Second one's worth 2 points, and so on, up to 10. If you got them all right, you'd score 55 points. And that's it. Let's get started. All right, here we go with Darren Watt representing Cowdenbeath for the Tories. So here we go. Question number 1, really, really easy, just to get you started. What was the name of the music star who died in 1977 and was known as the King of Rock and Roll?
That'll be Elvis Presley.
Easy, right? You're in the game. Fantastic. Number 2 for 2 points. What's the name of the headgear ideal for cold weather that was named after a battle in the Crimean War?
Balaclava?
That's it. Absolutely. Yeah, I was about to start hitting you with the clues, but you worked out just in time. You see, they're fairly simple to start off with. They're fairly,
that's where the pressure lies, to be honest. It's.
Oh yeah, I know. I understand that. Yeah, right. Number 3 is about books and whatnot. What's the well-known English Victorian novelist who wrote also under a pen name Boz, which is B-O-Z, not B-A-W-S, but Boz. B-O-Z. Who is that? A well-known English Victorian novelist. And it's still on there. No, that was Charles Dickens this time. So you've dropped the 3-point question, but that's all right. Because right now, question number 4 is a 50-50 question. So it kind of helps a little bit. So what is the real name of the pop star Sting? Is he called Gordon or is he called Stephen?
He's Gordon.
That's right, yeah. Do you know his full name, yeah?
No, I don't, I'm afraid.
Gordon Sumner is his real name. You don't have to know that, but you got the 4 points. So Gordon is correct. Right, number 5. Start to get slightly more tricky now. After Germany, which other country has got the second largest population of people who speak German as a native language? So Germany's obviously got the largest number of people who speak German. What's the country that's got the second largest number of people who speak German?
Austria?
Yes, good answer. You had to think about that one, but Austria is correct. Were you tossing up with Switzerland maybe, or?
No, not at all. It was. I was just trying to sort of like picture geographically where the countries all were, so...
You nailed it. You could be foreign secretary with that answer. That's you qualified now. You just have to know where these things are. That's all you got to do. Right, number 6. During which century, so you just got to get the century, was the first performance of The Messiah composed by Handel? Have a guess at the century.
18th?
Yes, good answer. Absolutely fantastic. 1742 in Dublin. As it happens. Right, number 7, this is your other 50-50 question. You get 2 50-50. So which type of whale creates ambergris, which is used to make perfumes? Is it the sperm whale or is it the blue whale?
Sperm whale? Yeah,
that's right. Fantastic. Didn't fall into it. Better not say sperm trap. You just went with it, and you've only dropped one so far. You're doing really well. You've only dropped the 3-point question so far. This is going extremely well. The last 3 questions are a little bit more difficult. So 8 points now. Which capital city in the Middle East is home to the tomb of Saladin, the 12th century Arab leader who got it right up the Crusaders, to be fair.
I think
so. His tomb is a major place where people go to for kind of pilgrimage, and it's in which capital city in the Middle East?
No, I'm afraid my mind's gone blank. Tel Aviv?
No. Well, it's good to go for anyone, but no, it happens to be Damascus in Syria. All right. Okay. Number 9 is back in the UK. Which city has been the home of the Crufts Dog Show since 1991? Which city? And I'll give you the clue. It's outside of London, right? I always thought
I want to say Nottingham off the top of my head.
You want to say
Nottingham?
Nottingham isn't far away, but it's Birmingham.
Birmingham. Yeah. I knew it was some.
Knew it was one of those places. Right, okay. You've dropped a couple there, but you've got a chance to get the 10-point question, right? You have to get within 2 years of the right answer for this one. So, what year did these things happen? Grange Hill was first on television, and Pope John Paul I was the Pope, and he was only the Pope for 33 days, and then he had a heart attack and died. So those two things happened in the same year, and you've got to get within 2 years of the right answer. What year was the Pope John Paul I on the throne, if that's how you say it, and also Grange Hill was first on television in the UK. So have a wee think and have a guess at that.
I'm a lot younger than I look, so I'll go with 1986.
That's why I've given you 2 years. You see, if you were my age, I would only give you 1 year out, and I thought, yeah, he's a wee bit younger, so
we'll go with 1986.
Oh no, that's quite late. It's 1978. I'm just checking that. 1978 is correct. Bad luck. Right. Okay, I'll tell you what happened. You missed the 8, the 9, the 10. They were difficult questions. That's 17, 27, and 3 is 30. So 55 maximum minus 30. You've scored 25 for the Conservative Party. That's not bad at all. Well done, Darren.
Thank you.
All right.
There's one thing. I mean, certainly going. I did watch Colin Beattie from the SNP. I've seen his quiz, and he certainly nailed the highbrow ones. And it's clear I'm quite lowbrow. So maybe if there's if I'm elected and he's the same, maybe we can form some sort of quiz coalition. You never know. There you go.
That is how it works. Like I've had this idea that the easiest thing for me is to get one of you on at a time, but it would be quite good with teams. If I could do some sort of team things between the parties, that'd be really good. I'm looking into that. But yeah, that's how it works. All the best quiz teams have got a person who knows who Tom Jones is and a person who knows something else, So no, you did really well. Just mainly thanks for coming on and doing it, because obviously it's potentially a bit of a minefield, but well done, Darren, and good luck with your campaign. How's your campaign going anyway so far?
Not too bad. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's 36 days to go, so it's challenging. We're just trying to squeeze it all in, and we can't do the door-to-door stuff, chatting with people and the like. But we're getting messages out there, whether it's via social media or leaflet drops and the like. So we just have to do what we can, and we'll see what happens. But interesting times, as they say. It
is interesting times, and just thanks for coming on. I really appreciate. I looked at your Twitter briefly, and I really appreciated the post you did of your local fast food place, which got the full breakfast in a polystyrene box. This is not your Jacob Rees-Mogg, folks. This is a proper guy. So, everything else aside, just good luck with everything. All right.
No, absolutely, and just on that quick note, I mean, I could really come out with some great policy, really meaningful, something that can really change the landscape of Scottish politics, and I'll get 3 likes. I post a picture of an all-day breakfast, 30 odd likes and half a dozen comments. I mean, that says it all.
Well, now you're starting to understand the people.
Absolutely. As soon as you get that, that's it. You're on board. People start to relate. So, but thank you very much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure, and best of luck, obviously, going forward. Not just with online quizzes, but from, you know, once we can obviously get back up and running and back in the pubs and like.
Well, hopefully I get back in the pub before I get evicted. That's my timeline. Take care, Dan. See you later.
Bless. Thank you. Take care.
Cheerio. Now, I know some of you don't like Tory so much, but he was all right. He's a good guy. 25 scored. That's the lowest so far, but they were tricky questions, and it will not be the worst performance, that's for sure. Right, let's get back to you lot. I'll do the scoreboard and all that for the politics later on.